Welcome back to another clay video. Today we are going to create Bowser from Paper Mario. It all starts here with the black clay. This is what we're going to be using for the base of Bowser. This is the same method I used for making Paper Mario. Almost everything on both these characters is really the same technique. It's just that Bowser has a lot more detail to him and he's a lot more advanced than Paper Mario was. Here is going to be our paper stencil we're going to be using. I've learned my lesson from using the X-Acto knife on the table that it leaves a lot of scratches and holes and messes up your table, so now I use this cutting mat. Well, I usually call it my painting mat, but today it's going to be a cutting mat. And we just need to remove all of the different white pieces of paper here so we have a more exact outline of Bowser. Here's that flattened down black clay we had, so let's start cutting out Bowser. Before I forget to mention it, the winner of the poll is actually a tie. I'll put it up on screen here. Both Paper Mario and Kirby abilities tied in the poll, so I guess I'll be creating both of those. Not in the same video though. Next Saturday's video is going to be the Paper Mario one, and it's not going to be a character like this in Paper Mario, it's going to be an actual scene. I'm not going to give it away what it is, but it's going to be more of a scene of a bunch of different characters. And it's going to be from the new Paper Mario game. We just need to remove this excess clay here, and then Bowser is ready to get baked for the first time. So the second winner of the poll, which is the Kirby abilities, will be created after the Paper Mario video. And I'm not going to spoil for you what that one's going to be, you guys will just have to wait and see. But I think that it may turn into a bit of a series if you guys like it. We need to take some tape here and tape on this paper cutout onto our clay Bowser. And we can start taking the X-Acto knife and following everything, all of the different shapes and patterns on here. Basically, we need to cut out everything that is not black, which is a lot of cutting. I think the whole cutting process probably took me around 3 hours. I know it seems really fast in here, it takes about a minute for you guys, but for me it's about a 3-hour process to cut all of this out. The clay is pretty firm and it is harder to cut through. I made him a lot thinner than Mario because I know Mario was so hard I even broke my X-Acto knife on it. But this one was a lot thinner, so it worked out pretty good. We have to just keep removing and cutting all of these different pieces out and just leaving all of the black outline here. I haven't played the new Paper Mario game, but I have watched some gameplay of it. Personally, I like the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube one the most. It's the battling style that I like the most. I like this new style that they have though, where you can sort of turn the board and attack, but I just like the RPG style turn-based that's in the original too, and I think there's a lot of people who are on board with that. I wish they would have kept creating them in that style. We are almost done here with cutting out all of the paper details. We just have his hands left. And after removing these final pieces, we can start taking out all of these chunks of clay. After we cut them out pretty good, they slide out pretty nicely. Some of them I had to go back over with the X-Acto knife or sort of pry them out like this, but it works out pretty nicely. There is not going to be a poll in this video because I already have those next two to create, but I think that either in the Paper Mario video or in the Kirby abilities video, I'll have the next poll. While we take out the rest of the pieces here, I want to give you guys a quick invite to my Discord server. I don't know if all of you guys saw the video. It didn't have very many views compared to my subscriber count or usual view amount, but that makes sense because it's not a clay video. But basically, it's a nice little place to chat and hang out. You guys can give me suggestions there. You can share your artwork. I have a couple different chat rooms there where you can share clay work or just any type of art, so it's a pretty nice place to hang out. You can find a link to this in the description of this video. As you can see here, Bowser's pretty broken up, which is to be expected. This happened with Mario too. So luckily we can break out the Sculpey translucent clay. This stuff is amazing. This liquid clay works like a glue, except it hardens in the oven, not air drying. And Bowser is ready to get baked again. Now, after a second time getting baked, he is ready to get filled in with color. This is going to be the first color we mix, this tan, orange, and white. This will be his face color. And the method for putting in this clay is basically just to take chunks, roughly the size of the area you're filling, and just press them down. And as you can see there, there's some dirt in there. Well, it's not dirt, it's just flecks of black clay. But it makes it very dirty and it looks bad. But we'll clean that up later. You guys will see how I do that if you don't remember from the Paper Mario video. I wanted to start with all of the lighter colors first, because if you start with darker colors like, for example, red, blue, green, even like a yellow or an orange, it dyes your fingers pretty good, and it makes it so if you even just touch something like white, it just instantly is dyed those colors and it ruins it. So that can be very annoying and frustrating, but that's why we're starting with the lightest colors first. After his fingernails and toenails here, we'll be done with all the light colors though, so we can move on to some other ones. Some spots like here are so narrow and tiny that I have to shove them in with a dentist pick. I couldn't get it in with my finger. There's actually quite a lot of them on here. Bowser has so many little cracks and crevices to fill. It's actually much crazier than creating the Paper Mario one. Now we're going to move on to our gray here. This was just a mixture I had from an old project. I don't remember which one this would have been. I don't create too many things with gray. Somehow I forgot to cut this out, or I cut it out wrong, so there's supposed to be another black circle here like there is on the sides of that. But we'll just make it look like it was there all along. We'll just fill the outline in here with some black. And again on the top here. Now we're going to be using some FIMO effects. This is light silver. What FIMO effects is basically like a glittery, sparkly version. I'm not sure what they add to it to make it shine like that, but it works really good for making things look metal. The gold and the silver are very nice for these effects. And here is the metallic gold. I've only ever got one pack of this. This is a very old pack, but even when I first got it, it was hard as a rock. I don't know if all of the gold clay is like that, but this pack was terrible. But mixing it with some yellow makes it very soft because the yellow clay was soft. This is our color for the spikes. I thought if I added a little gold in there, it would have a nice shine to it, and I think that it does. If you hold it in the right light, you can see some sparkle to it. And now let's move on to our next color, which is going to be the filling of the mouth. This is just a basic red straight out of the pack, and then this is red mixed with some black. For this color, I took the face color and just added a little bit of brown with it, just so it's a tiny bit different shade than the face, so you can tell the difference just a little bit. And yeah, this is what would be his stomach, I assume. It's sort of like an armor on his stomach. This is our green clay for the shell, and also for a little bit of his head, but most of his head, you can't really see the green. It's all of these tiny little cracks that we have to shove it into. Here is the mixture of our orange and white. This is his main body color, and I guess the second to last color we're going to be using. After this, we'll take the leftover of this orange and mix it with some red for his hair. I think these orange parts were actually the easiest out of his whole body because they're just big open areas. There's not really any small crevices, I guess except his hands. They were a little small. I don't know if you saw in the reference picture before, but there was some sort of squiggly patterns on his legs. I just decided to skip those parts. I don't think it's too necessary, and unless you compare the pictures, you'd never notice that it's supposed to be there. Our final detail, the flaming hair. And now let's break out some rubbing alcohol. This is 70% alcohol. This works really, really good for removing all of this dirt and filth in here. As you can see, the face is really, really dirty when you get a close-up view. But you can get it nice and clean with this stuff. I've been using this since my very first creation, I feel like, or at least really early on. One thing we forgot here was this marking on his nose, I guess his nostril, and Bowser is ready to get baked. After our final baking, Bowser is finally complete. We just have to remove him from the tray, which actually was quite a challenge. He got stuck to there pretty good. Now let's flip him over and add the magnet so he can join Mario on the magnet board. This is our trusty super glue, and these are just some basic magnets I found at the store. I think you can find them in any crafting aisle. You don't have to go to like a specific crafting store for these, or just look on Amazon. I decided 4 magnets it's probably overkill, but it's definitely enough to hold them up. And here it is, guys, Bowser from Paper Mario. So let's go ahead and add him onto the magnet board. That looks really nice next to Paper Mario. I hope you all enjoyed the creation of Bowser from Paper Mario. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one.